Do you think this Rams team fair to the teams that you won the Super Bowl with?
Well, thanks for having me on the show. As far as the game is concerned, I'm very confident. I think that, the Rams have played a really good season. They played a lot of different opponents. I think they will be ready for this game, and they'll be able to put pressure on one Mr. Tom Brady, and ultimately end up winning this game. I think it'll be exciting for all the fans of Los Angeles and all the fans in New England. But I think when it's all said and done, I think the Rams have a really, really opportunity to really shock the world and win this game.
Yeah, and I suppose, Isaac, people would have seen the Rams' victory over New Orleans, led by Drew Brees, as a bit of a surprise. Likewise, many people sort of tipped the Kansas City Chiefs to get the better of New England Patriots in the conference finals as well. So two teams that probably weren't looked upon as maybe slight underdogs in both conference finals. Both came through, and both came on really, really strong in that final quarter. Both finished very, very strong in that fourth quarter when it really mattered.
Oh, absolutely. I think that's always the beauty of our game we call football. The underdog sometimes rises up and beats those who are favored to win the game. So I'm really excited about the outcome of those championship games. I thought that, New England versus Kansas City was an opportunity for the young Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs to take that next step and represent Kansas City in a Super Bowl. But the brilliance of Tom Brady once again showed its face, and we're playing the Patriots again in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and I suppose, Isaac, you have in charge Sean McVay, a head coach, hired only in 2017 at the age of 30. He became the youngest coach in modern NFL history. It's such a metaphoric rise for a head coach that young, where his players probably in his dressing room that are maybe 5-6 years his senior, and he's leading these guys into a Super Bowl final so young in his career as a head coach, and take someone like Bill Belichick, who's been there all before, been there, bought the t-shirt, came out the right side. It's nothing new to him. So Sean McVay, how is he going to tinker anything in the way he's done before, or is he just going to do with the tried and tested that got him to the Super Bowl?
Well, definitely there are opportunities to tweak a certain style of play. I think Sean McVay has been really, really good and really great for what we have in Los Angeles as far as football coaching is concerned. I think when you enter into a game like this, you want to make sure that, you have some similarities but are willing to be flexible and change when you have to. I think Sean McVay showed that versus the New Orleans Saints. When they came in with one game plan and it seemed as if it wasn't working, they went to plan B. And when plan B started to work, he stuck with it. So that's the sign of a great coach.
Yeah, and Isaac, if we can take a look at some of the key players from both sides, and I've picked out maybe 4 players from each side that are critical to each team's chances, and these players can win a game on their own. First of all, I suppose the quarterback battle, Jared Goff against Tom Brady. And Goff has really found himself in this playoffs. He really has sort of emerged. He's very consistent, Jared Goff, in these playoffs so far. He's been hitting maybe 80%, 8 out of 10s every day out.
Absolutely. I think Coach McVay has done a really, really good job instilling confidence in Jared Goff and making sure he puts him in positions to make positive plays. Not only that, but impactful plays. So as we saw last week in the NFC Championship game, there were moments where Jared Goff had to improvise a little bit and make sure he got the pass where it needed to be. So his growth is important, and I think that'll continue to be shown once the game starts, Super Bowl 53, and I think he'll play well.
Yeah, another player that springs to mind who's having a great season with the LA Rams is Todd Gurley, running back, and he really brings a new dimension to the attack for the Rams, and his ability to gain yardage is incredible.
Yeah, he's a running back that can do a lot of things. He's multi-dimensional as far as being able to run the football out of the backfield. He can run in between the tackles. He's fast enough to get the edge, and he's also explosive enough to take it to the house wherever he is. he's been a great asset for us this season, and hopefully he's healthy enough to really be able to let his hair down so he can really show America what he has.
Yeah, and I suppose with every quarterback, there needs to be that chemistry with his wide receiver. And probably the wide receiver has benefited a position that you played and you know thoroughly well, Isaac, that has really come about his young Cooper Coop out wide. And his ability to just break free of the tackle and get on the end of Jared Goff's passes. And he really is a threat to this New England defense.
Oh, absolutely. You know, ever since Cooper Kupp went missing, the other guys begin to step up in his place. The young kid Reynolds, I think he's done a very good job keeping drives going, making big catches. He made big catches in the NFC Championship game. And as you mentioned, that chemistry is really, really, really important between quarterback and wide receiver. So hopefully he gets these guys involved pretty early, and that way we can see some dynamic stuff.
Yeah, and the last player, Isaac, to look at the Rams before I move on to the Patriots is we'll look at the defensive end, and no better a tackler and a defensive linchpin than Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald is one unstoppable force, and I think he'll leave his imprint on this game. I think he has the ability to beat a double team and free up other guys along that defensive line to enable to pressure and put pressure on Tom Brady and try to move him off of the spot. And that way we'll be a little bit more successful on the defensive end.
Yeah, and I suppose if we can flip that now, the New England Patriots, they have many weapons, and but maybe one of those consistent performers right in the engine room for them is their tight end, Rob Gronkowski, and a real force this guy is.
Well, he's been a great force ever since he's been in the league. I mean, he's big, he's fast, he can run, catches the ball well, and when he's not catching the football, you can find this guy blocking, opening up holes for the running back. So he's definitely a guy we have to keep our eye on and give him good attention.
Yeah, and a breakout star for the New England Patriots, and probably the previous few years he was probably in the shadows, but another running back, Michael Sonny, it really has come to the light this year.
Yeah, I think Michael Sonny has really come to the light in a special way for them. I mean, anytime you have a team that has envisions of playing in the playoffs and beyond that, you definitely have to have a guy who can support what you want to do as far as the running game is concerned. And he's definitely that and more. I mean, he's coming from a university where the running game was paramount, and he's really carried that on to the next level here in the NFL. Yeah,
and looking at that, we go on to probably a marquee player just behind Tom Brady in elite status is Julian Edelman, the wide receiver, and this player is sheer quality.
Yeah, Julian is a really great talent. I think he does a great job of getting open. I think the biggest thing I like about Julian is just his competitiveness. This guy really doesn't believe that anyone can cover him. And he's always in the mix when it's crunch time to make plays. He's the guy that you can count on to make the biggest plays.
Yeah, and I suppose before we go on to Tom Brady, last guy there, I just want to mention there James White, and another running back and another player that Los Angeles Rams will have to look at trying to put the curves and nail him to the ground very early.
Yeah, James White is a guy who can do multiple things. I mean, he's very similar to, what we have in Todd Gurley on the other side. Catching the ball, running in between tackles. He's sometimes a matchup nightmare. But I feel like, going into this game, we're pretty confident in what we can do and curbing that.
And then I suppose the probably legacy is probably what Tom Brady is going for in this Super Bowl final. He was a bit maybe dismayed last year. Probably the critics were on his back, questioning his greatness. He was determined to get back here again this year. He feels maybe that this might be a case of redemption and the last chance saloon with himself and Bill Belichick in the front seat. And Tom Brady, I suppose, how do you counteract this man's genius? Do you rush him, or do you try and cut out many of these options?
Well, I tell you what, I mean, most great players, they don't need a reason, to come out and play well. They need reasons for other things. But, the biggest thing I think you can do against Tom Brady is pressure him. If you pressure him up the gut, I think you have an opportunity to take him from being a facilitator to a football player. That way he's been hit, he's been tackled, and he's been moved off his spot. So that way you can probably force some errant throws, errant passes, and throw the timing off a tad bit.
Yeah, and I suppose, Isaac, before I just get on to your final thoughts, Bill Belichick, will we ever see the likes of him again?
Who knows? I think, what he's brought to the New England Patriots and what he's brought to the NFL itself, I think it's awesome. I think, he has a great legacy to fall back on once he's done playing, and we're going to be looking forward to see what happens.
Yeah, and Isaac, finally, your thoughts on the game. I'll ask you where you think it might be won and lost, but just on your own perspective, being an ex-Ram player, a Hall of Famer, how much would it mean to the franchise and for yourself to win a Super Bowl? That maybe the last few years that the Rams haven't been really in the final sort of four mix, and what would it mean to you and to the franchise?
Oh, it would mean a lot. I think anytime you have an opportunity to play for a championship and win a championship, it's great not only for the organization, ownership, the players themselves. It's something that they will remember forever, but also in the communities in which we live and play. I think for those people, we're there to represent them, the entire city of Los Angeles, and to win a game for them.
Yeah, and finally, Isaac, just as I said, where do you think it's going to be neck and neck going into the fourth sort of quarter, or where do you think maybe this game is going to be decided in the last 3 or 4 minutes, or could it be place kickers that you think are going to have the real impact on this, where this game is going to be won and lost in relation to 3-point attempts?
Yeah, I think it'll be a close game. I think the kickers will have an opportunity to decide who wins. And I think, we're in a great place, definitely with a kicker who can not only make clutch kicks, but proved last week that he can send a game into overtime and end the game with a kick. So maybe it's close, maybe closer than a lot of people think. But in the end, I think the Los Angeles Rams will win it.
On that note, Isaac Bruce, it's been a pleasure talking to you. We wish you all the best in your future endeavours. Well, I know you're going to be present, shouting on the Rams to the core. And take care. And maybe, Isaac, maybe the following year we might get the chance to speak to you again. Take care, Isaac Bruce.